This is my passion. This is Ike's Outdoors. Hey guys, Ike here from IkesOutdoors.com. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about bow maintenance and taking care of your bow after your season's over, because season's getting ready to wind up for a lot of people. Welcome to my office. We're filming in here today because the weather outside's kind of bad. It's rainy, misty, and that's kind of what got me thinking about doing this video, is having to take care of these bows after a morning's hunt. If I can get my quiver off here. Well, I did. But after a hard morning hunt like this morning, you know, where I went out and got my bow all, you know, my bow was in the weather and everything like that, I thought I'd do this video. This is my Insanity, and on this Insanity, the strings are needing waxed, and like I said, season's about to wind up, so I wanted to show you guys what I do to my bow as far as maintenance at the end of the season. So the first thing I do is I wax a string, and I wax a string several times during the season. And what I use, there's several different products on the market, but what I use is this bowstring wax, bowstring lipstick from 30-06. It's real good stuff, works really great, and I found it to be superior to some of the other waxes that I've used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it right here on my string, just like this. I'm going to put a good coating on it, serving to everywhere except for my D-loop. I don't want to put any wax on my D-loop. So I'm going to go just like that, and I'm going to just smear it on there, and I've got some good thick globs. And then I'm going to take my fingers, and I'm actually going to work that wax right down into that string and into that serving, and try to get it in there and spread out and really down into the fibers of the string as much as I possibly can to try to protect that string. And you notice when you buy new strings, they come and they are really waxed heavy, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm really waxing these things pretty heavy, like I do every time, but rubbing it in good really is going to help get it down in there and preserve your string for a little bit longer. So like I said, I do the servings as well. Now I don't do the serving around down here, but I do the serving up here quite a bit. And you know, you want to do this to your cables too. Cables don't seem to show as much wear as what your strings do, and I'm not sure why that is, but my cables don't seem to show as much wear. But I'm going to do the whole cable, and on this bow I've got a harness up here on top. I'm going to do the harness as well. I'm going to do that really well. I really do my harness systems really good, because the string split in two there, and you know, I don't think it's any weaker. I've never had a harness break, but I like to try to protect it that much better because the string actually splits. So I'm going to do that on all the strings, all the cables, pretty much everything that I can get to. I even do my serving here just a little bit, and the reason I do that, I like to keep that waxed, is because it slides along my string and my cables, and if it does slide along there, I don't want it to cause any wear. So it's just, I wax it up too when I'm waxing my bowstring, just to make it, hopefully it'll slide a little bit smoother. So once you've done all your strings and cables and got that all taken care of, now say I'm going to put this bow up for the year, what I would do is take this right here off, and I would oil, put a little bit of oil. What I'm using is, this is Bow Snot. It's made by 30-06 Outdoors, same way as this stuff here is made by 30-06 Outdoors. This is a really good lubricant for your parts on your bow. You can use it anywhere on the bow. Another thing you can use is gun oil. The one thing you do not want to use is anything like a rust that'll break up rust like WD-40, because it will eat your strings right up. So I use gun oil, Hops gun oil, or I use string snot, or any kind of well, I don't want to tell you exactly what to use, but I know I use Hops, and I use string snot, and I use some Teflon based lubricants as well, but the main thing I use is this snot because it's so nice to get down in there. So what I do whenever I'm going to put this up for the year is I'll go and I'll put a little bit of this oil right here on my limb bolts, and on the limb bolts you can see on this bow I've actually got an access to the back side of it, so I'm going to put a little bit in there as well, and then I'm going to go and do that on all of my bolts. Like on my cam here, I've got access to the back side of the bolt, so I'm going to put just a couple drops on that and let that absorb in. And what I'm going to do this for, same way with my draw stop, I'm going to hit the back side of my draw stop. And what I'm really doing that for is for next year. You don't want these things to seize up, especially these bolts here. Because if these things seize up and you can't get that out of there next year, like for me, I'm not going to change the draw length, but say I sell this bow, the guy I sell it to, if he has trouble getting that out, he may strip it out, and then you've got a real problem on your hands. So we try to take care of that by putting a little bit of oil in there. My rest, same way, I can go right here to the back side of the rest into that burger hole, put a little bit of oil there. Same way with my sights, I can put a little bit of oil on each one of those. I'll come up and hit my top cam, just like I did the bottom cam. A little bit of oil on each one. A little oil on the back sides of my limbs. Now, say if I was going to sell this bow, or I was going to go ahead and strip this bow down, then I'd go ahead and take everything off and put a little bit of oil in each one of the holes after I took everything off, and use the bolts to work that in to get all the threads in there good and oiled up for the next person. But this is what I do when I store this bow for the year. For me, most of the time my bows don't set idle for too long, but it is important to get it oiled up after a hard season and get it all lubricated so everything stays in good shape, nothing seizes up when you're trying to change anything. And you can do this also to your sights, hit them like mine have the micro adjustment, hit all the adjustments on your sights, back your stabilizer out and hit a little bit on it. This is a stainless bracket and it's got a stainless bolt on it, but just good to keep everything lubricated up on this thing, and it'll help keep your bow in good shape. The better shape it's in, the better it's going to shoot. So that's pretty much it for what I do to keep my bow maintenance at the end of the year. And I'll do this several times a year, especially if I've been out in harsh weather. So that's one thing I do. That's how I keep my bow maintenance and keep it in tip-top shape. For more product reviews, how-to videos, please be sure to check out our website, IkesOutdoors.com. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search Ike's Outdoors on there, and you can see our Facebook page. And I really appreciate you guys watching these videos.